Father, the sleeper has awakened!
What's up, YouTube? It's Artisan MC, and this PMDM is going to be about Is Love Real? And this is in response to the Crimson Cure's post about what's love got to do with it. Shout out to the Crimson Cure. I will add the link to her video in the description of this video so you guys can go back and check that out. But in my drivings around today, I was listening to Kendra's video, and it really struck me because it hits on something I was thinking about yesterday and debating with someone yesterday about love and relationships and how love is looked at today in the world. And Kendra's question at the end of her video, which was, is love real? Brings up an interesting notion that it is at times and it's not at times. And this is why one of the reasons I love this space is that for some reason or another, there is a lot of serendipitous ideas swirling around this space. I mean, I say I was thinking about this and debating this topic just yesterday, and I was. And I turn on YouTube today, and here's a video talking exactly about this. That's very serendipitous. You could say it's coincidental, but I don't believe in coincidences like that. But to not, belabor the point any further, when I was young, I was one of those guys that grew up young and believed in that love thing, and that your true love, you'll find that one. Everything would be wonderful. You find a girl that you like, you give her your tokens of affection and whatnot, and she'll return those, and then you'll be together and whatever, and go off and have kids or whatever, and live a long life, married and whatnot. But as I got older, into adolescence and young adulthood and adulthood, to where I am now, I understand that love is in some ways just a construct. And I have to break it down in this way to say that love in and of itself, how it's described in Western cultures, is one word encompassing all. That is a mistake, because that does not cover the full range of what love is and what love isn't. Now, we use love continually in our culture to describe a multitude of different feelings and emotions, but we don't really understand it, to say the least. I mean, as Kendra pointed out in her video, you can love your dog, you can love your car, you can love your wife, girlfriend, husband, boyfriend, kids, mother, father, uncle, distant relative, 2 steps removed, your best friend that used to be your blood brother or whatever, and use one word to describe all of them, but all of them are not to the same degree. They're not the same. They're emotional connections, which is true. But if you paired up your love for your child next to the love of yourself, or the love of, say, your distant relative will come in last. If you had to make a choice between the two, you'll probably choose your child, I would think. So for me, just my philosophy on this is that romantic love is not really real. It's not. Romantic love is not real. Love for your family, for your seeds, your children, is real. Love for your pets and your animals might be a little real, but it's not to the same degree as your children. I mean, if you don't have children, you would say that your pet is your child, but you don't know the difference because you don't have a child. So you don't know how deep that love actually goes. Um, Love for your parents is there as well, but it's still different than the love you may have for yourself. Love that you have for yourself may fluctuate from time to time. Really loving yourself or really not loving yourself. It may fluctuate based on the conditions around you. So it's in that sense, it's just an overall feeling of how good you feel about yourself and your own self-esteem rather than I'm really just, all enamored with myself or I'll stare in the mirror and do all kinds of sweet things for myself. That's it's not the same thing. Um, I think in this culture, mostly, and how it is practiced now, love is frowned upon. It's thrown around a lot. The word is thrown around a lot, but it is frowned upon. It is seen as a weakness. You have to go no further than to think of. Um, I'm bad with using extreme situations, but think no more of an extreme situation where two people are in an abusive relationship, and it may not even be physically abusive, but they say they love each other. Everybody on the outside will shit on them for it and tell them that that's not love. But for all the outsider knows, for how each one of those people grew up, just having a verbally abusive relationship is a step above the way they grew up. So it still is love for them. It is. Because there are no hard, fast, set rules and boundaries for what love is, how can you say it's not love? You can only say it from your context, which means to me that it's not really real. It's just a feeling that you have because you can't gauge it next to somebody else's feelings of love. There's no real standards on that. I mean, I could say that, oh, somebody, which happens a lot of times with people in relationships, and this is just me poking at the whole romantic love idea, is that the situation that happens every day in life, some people are married and they have an affair. They may love their husband or wife, but they've had an affair with somebody else. And they may love that other person as well. Now, if you ask the husband or wife that's been cheated on, they would say that that's not love. If you ask the person that was doing the cheating, they would say no, they do love them both. If you ask the cheater or the person that they're cheating with, they would say, yeah, maybe it's not what they ain't love. They really love me. It's all really subjective in a sense that I know you can be in a situation and have feelings of love for more than one person at a time, but culturally, you're not supposed to. But that's not how that shit works necessarily. So the idea of romantic love is really a falsity to make you feel secure in the fact that only you have what this other person wants. And that doesn't work. That's not actually true. Because one thing you learn getting older, and if you had a few relationships, as an adult, you probably loved every one of those people. Probably did. But you don't love them the same. It's not the same level. It's not the same intensity. It's not even the same amount of what you would do. It's not. And that just goes to show you that it can't really be something really structured in the sense that you can actually, you know, hold on to and size up next to anything else. Now, what you hear in this culture a lot of times is that, people will tell you what love is and what it's supposed to be and all the rest of that. But even if you look at that person, they don't show love in that way. They don't. Now, I could say extreme affection you can have. You can have a desire, you can have a longing for people, and that goes all the way back to that just emotional need to connect with people and have that stronger need to not want that connection to be as tenuous as it could be, but to have it actually be stronger. And that is what we consider love because we want that connection more than we want another connection. But it's not limited in that sense. So I say for me, I love my children. I do. And I know what I would do for my children because I know, given a situation, for my child, I would either take a life or lay down mine. And to me, that's real love because that is not changing. It's not. No matter how old they get, no matter how old I get, no matter what happened, if they became a drug addict and was a terror out here in the streets, I would still love my child and I would still try to help them. Cannot say the same for a girlfriend or possibly even a wife. Can't say the same because my experience has shown me no matter how much somebody profess in a romantic sense that they love you, there will come a time when they do not. And they will move on and love somebody else. So, in which case, that means romantic love is not real. It's not. It's something you feel for a moment in time. And when that time is over, so is that feeling. And you move on to try to feel that feeling with someone else. So I hope that explained it a little bit. This was just off the dome of what I was thinking about while I was listening to Kendra. So shout out to the Crimson Cure. And that's it. You got my philosophy of a multi-dimensional man. Peace.